All right, should be good. I'm just gonna mute the music for a second so I can check if my sound is good. Welcome everybody. And here we go. Is the sound good? Is the sound good? All right, it looks like there is no music coming for you. What's going on? What's going on? Here comes the music. Should be good. Did I mess up my OBS again? Desktop audio. No, it's going to track 1. Minus, yes. All right. Okay, so should be good now. If I go here, okay, so there will be an echo at some point when I just figure it out. There we go. Okay, so should be good now. Does it go to track 2? What's going on? What is going on? Okay, so there will be an echo at some point when I just figure it out. There we go. So should be good now. Okay. Does it go to track? Let's go for the streams. Streaming audio track number 1, please. What's going on? What is going on? I guess I can't change it now. There we go. Rate control. No, should be good. Should be good. Wait, there is an echo, right? All right. Anyway, I'm gonna start. Maybe you'll have no music. That's fine. Okay, music. Yes. All right, music is back. Here we go. And I guess we're ready to start. All right. Okay. So this guy is muted. I got this guy. Hello, Raham. Thanks for the audio thing. I guess I just got muted, or my sound was not good enough. All right. So we're gonna start from scratch today, and we are going to build like a very small performance tool kind of thing. And I'm gonna close my door here because there's vacuum outside. All right. So, virtual desktop, here we go. You got on my, just like in upstairs, you get my browser, which is where I'm gonna show the results. You get on this side here, my code editor. And I'm gonna start from scratch using the new nextjs like 9.4 things. So if I go and search nextjs 9.4 announcement, I don't really have any plan for today. We are just gonna check a few new things. So, oh, nice to see a grid lover. This one is going to be less CSS-y. It's going to be a bit more like JavaScript and how to do communication fetch and stuff. So Next announced like a few really nice things. So there is like the fast refresh. I'm going to just like zoom this guy a little bit. Fast refresh, which is the new auto reload. So basically it's just keeping state and everything. So that's great. This, we're not going to check this much. We're going to just like see if we can make everything work with the new env system. So I'm going to exploring this as well. Because traditionally we've been relying on other tools, let's say. So let's see if it's good enough to be used in that setup, like really like greenfield. I don't want to configure too many things. And that's pretty much my goal for today, is really see what you can get running without having to import Node.js or go and configure your just like .env and stuff like this. All right. There's also the built-in fetch support, which is basically the ability to use fetch on the Node.js side. And yet again, we use like isomorphic and fetch and stuff like this before, but if you get it for free with Next.js, we're going to see if we can use this. And we are going to also see what we can do with the integrated WebVitals. So to see like the first print, like contentful paints and stuff like this, and see if we can play a little bit with those and what we can do with those. So yeah. There's also the absolute import and aliases. So I've always done aliases, and usually it was done like on the Next.js config files. But basically, yet again, if it comes for free, we're going to see if we don't have to change anything. And yeah, SAS support, we're going to not do it today. Yeah, all right. So we're going to just like try and see what we can do with all of this, and if it is useful for any of us. All right. So I just created a new repo, perf analytics, so you can just like check it. I'm going to paste it in the chat. If you are interested, you can see there's pretty much just the MIT license in it. And I just cloned it in my local machine. So actually this one is like a WSL, so it's not local, but it's fine. All right, so let's go and let's install everything that we need. So we're gonna just go and npm init, sure, version 1, sure, description, doesn't matter, entry point, for Next.js is gonna be, doesn't matter actually, test command doesn't matter, git repository, there we go, this doesn't matter, author is gonna be me, for instance. You can't see the bottom of the console, that's fine. MIT. I'm really not gonna do much with this. All right. So we have our base We have our base npm package, and we're going to just like change a few things. So first of all, I'm going to clear this guy here. I'm going to npm install and save it nextjs because it's the one that we are interested in. Oh boy. Oh sure. It is not nextjs on npm. It is next. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. All right. So here we go. We're gonna also need TypeScript in that case. I'm gonna do it a little bit TypeScripty. I guess I could do JavaScript as well. Let's go with JavaScript. Let's go for less configuration. I'm gonna install SWR as well. I'm gonna install SWR because that's quite interesting. Like, comes for free as well, and it's gonna be allowing us to auto reload our API endpoints. So that's great. I'm gonna use what can I use? Style component, I guess. Style components, and we'll see if it's like good enough. All right. So now I need to do my scripts to be able to actually develop. So in my case, it's going to be dev, and I want to next, and I'm going to say port is going to be 3002 because I already have other one running. I'm going to say we need build, which is next build. In case I want to build and deploy myself, we're going to have the start if I want to use my build. So next start. And I'm going to also use analyze. Yes. No, we're not going to use analyze on this one. I guess that's everything we need here. I'm gonna create a new folder, which is going to be our pages. And I'm gonna get a new index.jsx. Here we go. I'm gonna import React. And I hope it's worth seeing like all of the templatey and stuff. I guess coming from scratch is a little bit more verbose, I guess. Yeah. I'm gonna call this guy entry point, and it's gonna not take any anything actually, and it's gonna return an hello world, and we should be good to go if I go here and use my npm scripts. So one thing you're gonna see me use a lot is that really small section here, which is very, very convenient because you can go and just say, hey, run this. So it's gonna run it, and now it's gonna have some trouble. Cannot find React. Oh, sure. that's that's a little bit important, I guess. Yes. And I'm gonna use React. I guess I'm gonna get the last one. There we go. React 13, yes, all good. So now I can go and refire this guy here. React DOM, of course. Am I stupid? React DOM. There you go. That's live streaming for you. All right. Okay, and let me see this guy here. Started server. So now if I go here and there we go, we got our very basic app running. It's all good. I am on localhost 3000. I'm gonna just like slide this guy here so you can see the URLs. And of course, if you do have questions, just like feel free to ask. That's the goal of those live stream, is really to go and be more like a conversation, because all of the tutorials and stuff, like the grid thing, is really like, hey, this is how you do things. But here is like, hey, I want to do this specific things and stuff like this. You can just ask in the chat and I'm gonna see if I can answer. And if I can, I'm gonna just do it like straight up in the code. All right. And that's really the goal of those live streams. And yeah. All right. I'm going to let everyone, it's going to be a short pause. And I'm going to check your question when I get back in a minute. And this way I'm going to test my my scene switcher and everything. And if I see the chat and everything, yeah. All right. See you in a second. All right, coming back, and here we go again. It didn't die, that's great. Back on the code. So first thing that we're gonna test is, what are we gonna test first? Fetch support, not yet. WebVitals, yeah, looks good. WebVitals. So if I have this guy here, basically just says, if I export that guy, let's try it out. What do we get from that guy? If I go here, let me get my console up. Doesn't do much. So export function, report, mega WebVital, yes. Did I miss something? Oh yeah, sure, it needs to be an app. Let's go. Let's go with the app. New file. So underscore app.js is pretty much like a function that executes before each pages. And index is one of those pages. So here for every pages, I'm gonna console log those metrics. And I guess it should only work on this guy. And now I need to kill that guy, restart that guy. So app is good. All right. So I'm gonna remove that guy here. And what we get from this web metric thing is I now console log a few things here. So I get an ID, I guess, of the event. I'm getting CLS, nextjs annotation, time to first, okay, WebVital, custom WebVital, and I get start time, the value, so I guess it's the length in milliseconds. And all right, so we're gonna just like change a little bit of those things because it's not really useful for us at the moment. And what can we do with this? Getting the, first of all, I'm gonna copy paste. If we want to learn more, yes. So I'm gonna actually get those guys here and say, I'm gonna get a list here and I'm gonna get here, we're gonna just go for some lists and go in. So CLS is cumulative layout shift. All right. FID is first input delay. LCP, and we're gonna just like go in and check all of them, what we get, because I know Next.js is also adding a few of their own. So Contentful paint, there we go, and we're gonna keep this guy out now. All right, Pretty Fire doing his job. All right, so if I reload, I get a CLS here. Okay, 0, I guess it's like start time defined. Then I have an iteration. So when I get when the server sends the HTML, and then Next.js iteration, and basically React goes in and hook into all of the nodes and stuff. So let's call it JavaScript ready. It's not really this, but sure. And I get the TTFB, which is from WebVitals. And how do they define this guy here? Time to first byte. And they're gonna say time to first byte. Source code release server response core concept. Okay. Server logic to prepare for server framework. Okay. Okay, that's great. All right. So we have this. Now, what we would like to do is really use like the Next.js built-in API system. So we're going to send all of those requests to our custom API endpoint, and we'll see what we can do with it at this point. I pretty much don't really have a plan here. It's really like a free flow things. So we'll see what we can do with this. So API, and here I'm gonna say it's gonna call perf.js. All right. So in this case, and I'm gonna pop up the API. I'm gonna pop like the documentation, and it's really simple. So now you are in Node land here. So there's no React, there's nothing. It's really like computed as node things. And what you need to do is to export a function. So that function goes, and it is really tied to Express. So you have your request, your response, and you will just respond. So for instance, if you want to send JSON, you're going to say true equal true, whatever. So if I go here, and now I navigate to my localhost 3002 API perf, I get my response here, which comes from here. And you can see I can switch it, then reload. Now it's not there anymore. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to get some stuff from our WebVital, I guess. I don't really have a clue what we're going to do. So I'm going to see, and let's go for... oh, I need to configure my prettifier because it's not going to like this, I guess. Methods, if this is a post, then I'm going to do some things. And if not, I'm going to do, it's going to be a get, so it's going to be showing stuff. So I guess I'm going to just say, I'm not going to worry too much about this. So in that post, what can we do? What can we do? Let's start by console log. And I think we can get the body of it. And now if I go to my app, and rather than console logging, I'm going to just fetch. And this guy fetch is going to go to API perf. And what is it going to do with API perf? I guess I'm going to pop as well the fetch documentation. I always forget to pop the documentation on stream so everyone can see what I'm talking about. Basically, fetch is really this idea of, oh yeah, sure, let's go for this guy here. Is really this idea of you send stuff either as a GET request, is basically the Ajax of like the new interface for Ajax calls and stuff. And you see you can do a lot of different things. So in our case, what we want to say is just we want to send the WebVitals, I guess, all the metrics. And we're going to do some stuff with it on the API side. So, and I'm going to put my phone here because I'm waiting for a good call. All right, so this guy here is really useful for us because it's pretty much what we want. So we are going to go, I am going to query fetch, and I'm going to query with a method which is going to be post. Mode, we don't really care. We don't have credential yet. The headers, I don't really care because I don't want to get anything from it, but I guess we'll just have it here. What I'm really interested in is really like the body. So we're going to go here, and the body is going to be a JSON stringify of our metric. So now every time I go here, rather than having the console log, I'm actually sending it to my API, and my API is just sending me like, hey, I got those things here, and you can see it here. what was happening. I'm going to close this guy here. And that's this guy here who actually is received metric. Okay, let's go. So if I go here, I refresh that guy, and now I'm receiving metrics, and I get those things. So I need to find something to do with this. What can we do with this? I guess we are going to, let me just check the blog post and see if there's anything we can do with this that makes sense. Fast refresh, no. CMS, no. New environment. I guess we're gonna have some environment variable in here so we can see if it works as advertised, kind of. Fetch support, yeah, so we're gonna send it to something else. So where are we going to send this with fetch? Do we have like faunaDB GraphQL endpoint? Can we just go for this? GraphQL endpoint, yes. All right. So I guess we're gonna just like fetch send to faunaDB and see if it makes sense to have anything there. So I am going to, yeah, makes sense. So if I go here and rather than console login it, I'm gonna go here and say I am willing to fetch that guy. All right, so if I fetch that guy, and of course I need to put all of my options back. So method is going to be post because it's GraphQL. What do we need to have here? We will need to have a header at some point, I guess. Merge, override, authentication. Yes, so I will have to have a header. There we go, and this guy is gonna be called authorization, and we're gonna use a bearer. So I need to get a key from faunaDB to store our things. I guess I need to do this now. So faunaDB, and I'm gonna see if I have like a throwaway account. I can go here. Sure. This guy doesn't have anything. I'm gonna create a new perf stream. Save. All right, so I get that perf stream. Yeah, and I'm gonna do a small. Hey, this is all of my keys things. So I'm gonna create a new key here. This is going to be a server. Server key, all right. And I'm gonna put this into my environment. So new file. And this guy is gonna be called faunaDB server key. And there we go. And I'm gonna also give like a new env with the same thing, but paste your fauna server key here. All right. And env.local is going to go stealth here. And I'm going to go back to my desktop here. All right. And there we go. I licked my Steam key. There we go back to be right back. Oh boy. Oh boy. Getting back into the streaming groove. FaunaDB. We're gonna go again. Perf stream security. I need to revoke this guy. New key server. Perf server key. Stream. Okay, second try. This guy is out. Now you can't see this guy in. We should be good now. So we're gonna see how they want us to implement the env system. Absolute, this is going to be after. So let me see, env system, new environment variable, yes. Environment variable, next public to the browser. Yeah, we don't want this. When it will be in line and perfect. All right. And how do we do it? You can read about environment variable documentation. Here we go. So use env custom environment. Okay, looks good. I don't really want to have this public, so I'm gonna keep it no next public. And my value, there we go, next public, cavet. Trying to destructure, won't work, mutation, that's fine. All right, so env local environment, that's what we're gonna use for this. And so I should be able to here add my do they still use the same process env? Yes, they do. Process.env, and my guy is called all right. I'm just going to check it if my key is up, and I guess I'm gonna just like, it doesn't make sense to have chat here. I'm gonna console log my own key, just checking if it works or if I need to reload because I don't want to be stuck on this for too long. Fauna key. When I go here and fauna key undefined, of course. I'm pretty sure you need to reload. All right, I got my key. It's all good. Okay, so it actually works great. There we go. And here is my desktop again. So now every time I use this, this is my Fauna key. So I can do pretty much what I want with this. And we're gonna build a schema, I guess. Or can I not do a schema straight up there? Do I have to create? don't they have a new thing where you can just new collection, GraphQL? Oh, you're forced to import a GraphQL? Okay. I guess I'm gonna create here GQL. All right, and that guy is gonna be in Fauna. Here goes. Sure, move it. All right, so what do we want to have? And I'm gonna just get this guy here, and get back my console, see what information we get. All right. Sure. No. This guy was good. Sorry, my bad. I actually need this guy here. This guy here. All right, console log. All right. Okay, so we have our metric. And I'm gonna get this guy here. See if there's anything we need to get started. GraphQL. So if you want, you can check this out. So yeah, you can do like all of the GraphQL thing with Fauna. It's like a serverless database. It's great. So yeah. Oh, getting started. Yeah, looks good. All right, so we have our metric. Our metric does have an ID, which is going to be of type ID, always there. They're gonna have a name, which is going to be type string, always there. Gonna have a value, and that value is going to be a number, but I'm pretty sure this is the GraphQL thing is yes. Value is not really a good name, so I'm gonna change it. But for now, we're gonna keep it this way, and we also have a label, which is not a super great name either, but we're gonna make it work. And of course, it has a start time, which is a number, which may be null. So yeah, so value, I'm not pretty sure we're gonna want to have this. It's gonna be more like a duration. I think it's better to use this kind of term. And label is not gonna be good. This is more like a source. And we're gonna have like a tag, which is going to be yes, looks good. All right, so there's always tags and they may have strings. All right, and we also want to have types. And in my case, I want mutations first. And it's going to be create metric. It's not really good, but sure. Or like maybe add metric. Add metric, and that guy is going to take an input, and we're going to do we want to use the input things or not? I guess, well, first of all, do we have to do the Okay, it does all of the mutation for you? Okay, you have like the basic CRUD thing, so actually I just need my queries. Perfect. Okay, so we just need a query, and this one is going to be really simple. All metrics, give me a list of metric, and I want to also have metrics by tag. Sure, so it's going to be tag, give me a string here, and this is going to return, oh come on, a list of metric as well. And I also want one metric, so it's going to be metric by ID, and this one is going to say ID metric, which may be null if you don't have it. All right. So if I do have this, we'll see what works and what doesn't work. Oh, they want me to use import GraphQL endpoint. Sure, I guess I can curl it. Oh, I can just import that schema. Problem is I don't have access to my guy here, so I'm gonna just copy paste it into a notepad. There we go, and that guy is gonna be called perf.gql. There we go. And my documents here. Wait. Oh, sure. .txt. No, I don't want .txt. Okay, materialize does not pass validation duration. Oh, sure, number. Yeah, sure, number is like a TypeScript thing. Always mix them up. I guess I need to go back to Notepad. Open anything. All right. Okay, metric does not have a field name tag. Sure. Oh, I need to actually have. I just want to have one. I guess we'll have to go with this for now. And it's going to be by tags then. There we go again. Okay, he's happy about it. Great. We're going to start with this guy and see if we can. Mutation, create matrix, update matrix. Okay, so if I go here and I do for mutation, create metric is waiting for data, and that data is going to get my ID. So I'm going to grab that guy. Oh, sure, JSON. Okay. Name is going to be CLS. Duration is going to be 0 because it's like super fast. Source is going to be web WebVitals and tags is going to be manual entry. All right, and I'm gonna ask for just the ID, tags, name, and duration, and see what we get from here. All right, so this is created. I guess I can go to my collection. I'm gonna copy paste this. And here we go. So we have our thing here. So now we need to get this working from our API endpoint. And I'm going to just check. Yeah, okay, so we are 40 minutes in. I guess we could make it work. So there we go. Actually, I'm going to keep this guy here and I'm going to say sending to faunaDB. So obviously you can use the JavaScript SDK for this, sending to faunaDB and stuff. I just want to use fetch because it's new and shiny. But yeah, of course, yeah. So going back to here, what we want to send now is the body element. So this is where we will have our GraphQL mutation, like the query and also the variables, and it's going to be slightly different. So in my case, I'm going to still JSON stringify, but now I'm going to do two things. This is going to be my body and also have variables, and those variables are going to be pretty much my rec body, except so what nomenclature do they use? They use data for their things. Data rec body. So if I do this, it won't work because I just change duration, I change tags, I change names, I change a few things. So it's not going to be super exact. So I'm going to need to actually filter my rec body here and do something else. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to call const. It's going to be prepared variable. Doesn't really matter. And so ID is going to be rec body.id. And of course, you need to validate all of the things. But in my case, I'm just going to go straight for it. So let me see my schema. Where is my schema? Can I see it here? No, I can't. I guess I'll have to go here. I'm going to copy paste this here. That guy is done. All right, name. Okay, duration is going to be rec body value. Start time is rec body start time. Source is going to be the label. All right, and tags for now are going to be we'll see later what we can do with this, but sure, for now it's going to be an empty tag thing. Oh, I'm going to say test. Yes, looks good. So this guy is going to be my data. All right, and now my body here if I just inspect that guy, I'm going to change that ID just slightly. So when you deal with GraphQL, you want to send like a post request, and that post request has all of that query inside, and also all of your variables. So I'm going to be lazy, and I'm going to just copy paste that guy. Here we go. And for me, this is, of course, going to be called query. And I'm going to copy paste this because I am lazy. And we are going to change all of those IDs and stuff to come from variables, because we want to have only one query. And all right, here we go. I want the ID, tag, name. Well, actually, in this case, I just don't really want anything. I could be checking if they are okay, I could be checking if they are yeah, I'm gonna actually just give it like this. It's not really pure GraphQL things, but it's gonna be easier. I could be checking, waiting for the response to send my my thing, but I just want to send new things, and I want to see it working and make it work. So here we can just like specify some variables here. So in my case, I'm gonna say ID is equal to ID. I'm gonna say name is equal to a string. Duration is equal to an int. I need to remember it's not TypeScript. Start time is an int as well. Source is a string, and it's always there. And tags is okay, an array of string, and now I can use those guys in here. ID, name, and I need to always PHP variable it, I guess. There we go, name, duration. So if you use like any client, the client will deal with this for you. Yeah, I'm just doing it like from the ground up, so we don't have to configure any client and stuff. And we'll see if it bites me at some point. Source. Okay. And I also need the tags here. All right, and my variables are going to be those guys here, and ID is gonna go here, being checked if it's an ID, stored here, and being passed here. So should be good. So if I go here, that guy is gonna execute every time I am going to reload it. I'm gonna kill those guys here. And we're gonna see if this works. So on my network tab here, I'm sending stuff to my post JSON perf, and that should be taken. So if I go here, it didn't work. So what happened? Sending to Fauna. Okay. Or maybe it just like dies before it's actually... Okay, so we're gonna go for async things. Okay, sending to fauna prepared variable. Okay, let me double check what happens here. Okay, received metrics, name is good, duration is good, WebVitals is good, everything is good, but fauna doesn't have it, so I guess I need to... Okay, export default, and this one is gonna be an async. And I'm gonna await that guy. Response. Okay. This should be going out. So in my case, I should receive like a JSON thing. So JSON is going to be response.json. Obviously, you need to check that you actually receive something. You need to like to have all the try-catch things. Yet again, I'm gonna receiving from fauna JSON. And this guy here, I don't need anymore. We're gonna try this out and see what we get in my local host. Okay, I receive a lot of things. Response is not defined. Did I miss something? Oh. I'm outside of my... Of course. Okay. Okay, receiving from fauna is pending, of course. Okay, variable start time is not used. That's a very good point for now. That's a very, very good point. Start time. Start time. And that guy is either this is going to be undefined, and if it is undefined, it's going to be null. Okay, let's try again. Invalid input. Mutation. Okay, okay. Plus. Okay, syntax error, passing driver recurrent, invalid input, mutation. What am I missing? Okay. Query variable, we're gonna go do it here. Oh, it's not happy about this guy. String. Okay, let's go. And we're gonna use this guy here that we have. Data. There we go. And data is gonna be my thing here. Oh, come on. All right, and my query variables are going to get to this guy here. And I need to JSONify it. Okay, duration is going to be 0. Start time is going to be null. Source WebVital tag. Okay, if I send this, SID doesn't appear. Sure it does. Okay, so ID doesn't appear here. Of course it does. What's your error? Why are you not happy about it? Okay, start time. Oh, sure, start time should never be like this. What's going on with me? This is an int. Okay. And that guy should be like this. I messed up completely. And it is not essential. Start time, int, not essential. All good. So if I go like this, I should be able to call it test. Okay, there can be only one variable named start time. Do I have it twice? I do have it twice. There we go. And then you can see, as always, I am stupid. Start time is not used. Yes, it is. Source. Oh, okay, I see what I did. Start time. Start time. I just forgot to put it there. Start time is start time. And now it is working. So we should be good to go. If I go here. All right, so I created my 3 metrics. So if I go to my collection, there we go. All of this is sent from my own API that use like another API to store data. And I'm going to get back stuff from that API on my GET request. And in that case, I'm gonna just send back JSON here. All right, so this is for the post, and now we're gonna get the gets. You want to have, of course, authentication here, but in our case, we don't really want to, we don't really have to, so we're gonna see what we can do with this. So in my GET request, I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing, except I am going to not use the mutation, but I'm going to use my query, which is going to be way simpler. It's going to be all metrics, and for all metrics, I want to get data, I guess. ID, name, source, duration, start time, and I should have tags as well. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit simpler. I'm gonna ask for this with the post. My bearer is there. I don't need any variables. Receiving from Fauna, and this is going to be spread, so I don't need any of those things anymore. All right. So if I go to my guy here, yeah, and now I'm receiving all of my data from Fauna. So that's great. And now I obviously have to do like pagination and stuff, but for now we'll not deal with this either. And this is where we are going to use SWR. So it is like a hook that was built by the nextjs guys, which basically is just a fetcher, but comes with like when you focus back the tab, when you go back after 25 seconds and stuff, it will just like refetch stuff. So it's really convenient in our case. And I am going to create my SWR here. So I first want to SWR, yes. And I'm gonna need to create a fetcher. So I'm gonna put the SWR doc here. Hook remote data fetching, so you can see what I'm talking about. So basically it is like a fetch with like data error things. When you just refocus here, we'll just like change it already. It has like some cache and stuff, so that's pretty useful. I'm gonna do like a very simple implementation of it. So I'm gonna create a fetcher, so that guy is gonna be fetcher, and it's gonna grab an URL, and that URL is gonna fetch, so it takes like a promise. I'm gonna fetch that URL. Then I'm gonna get that URL and I'm gonna respond with like the JSON which is inside, and that's pretty much all I need for my fetcher. Now I can use that guy here, and I'm gonna say, oh sure, I need to change my prettifier thing. I may have data, I may have an error. Do they have like a loading? No. Maybe, but I'm not like in a TypeScript thing, so yeah. Anyway, use SWR, and I'm gonna go for an URL. And my URL is gonna be API perf. So I'm gonna query my, I need to do some cleaning here. Yes, I'm gonna query my own API endpoint, which is querying the faunaDB things. So here we go, and I'm gonna need, oh, did my music just die? Oh, it's the end of, okay, perfect. No more errors, please. Okay, so I'm gonna import my fetcher here, and I'm gonna also get some initial data, which is going to be an empty array. So let's go for this guy. We're gonna return a fragment here. Yeah, and I'm gonna do some stuff. So if there is an error, and I'm gonna just display that error. I'm not even sure you can display it this way, but we'll just try it out. And if I do have data, actually I'm gonna do it this way. I'll always have data because I have like initial data, so it's good. I'm gonna say if there is an error, I'm gonna say error, and if not, I'm gonna display, what can we display? We're gonna just like stringify it for now. Stringify my data. All right. So you can see, I'm gonna do it a little bit better and zoom a little bit out because it's like, whew. I'm gonna add some stuff here, and this guy is gonna be a pre. All right. So those are all of our metrics, and if you reload it, there's nothing. Then you fetch, and then eventually it's gonna fetch it. Eventually it's gonna fetch it. Yes, there we go. And here we have all of our data with like even the last one that we put. So it's great. Those are manual entries, those are tests, and good. So now we're gonna try a new thing. So obviously it works great. You can fetch in Node, so that's great. We're gonna go back to nextjs 9.4. Let's go for the blog and see what we can use. So that's great. Fast refresh. Well, we can see it very well here. It's like, you see I have all of my data here, and if I want to add a new row here and I want to say, no, I'm not going to add a new row. I'm going to say h2 data below. It will just refetch, just like change that part, and I keep all of my state, so I don't have to refetch all of this. So that's great. So React fast refresh, that's super great, and I'm not using state here, like it's inside SWR, but obviously you keep your state. So if you have like open models or whatever, you'll keep those open. So that's really great. Static site regeneration, we're not going to do it now. CMS, we don't know. Environment works great. I have my env file here, and I have my env local, which is the same with my Fauna key here. So it's like overrides it. So that's pretty convenient. And actually, I'm just going to be very proactive and just say git ignore. And I'm just going to say env.local is going to be ignored. Yes. So I'm not going to commit that thing. So that's great. Built-in fetch, we used it here. So here I'm awaiting fetch in my node side, so in the API side. So that's great. WebVitals, this is what we send here. So I'm sending my node vitals without having to worry too much about waiting for the response or whatever, because I just want to send it. So obviously that fetch is nice, but you may want to use other systems like beacons and stuff, because fetch, if I just open the page and quit it, I don't have like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to send it or not, where beacons can be a little bit more stable, but it's not supported by everyone. So I guess we'll just have this here. Absolute imports and aliases. All right, this is something I really want to do, because it's something that actually I do on every Next.js thing. Is I'm going in with the next next config. Pretty sure it's next config.js, and every time I do something, I go in and I go for something like this. So obviously I need to import also the path. Yes, so every time I do something, and I don't need bundleanizer because I'm not gonna bundleanize this guy. All right. So every time I start a next project, I do that aliases, which allows me to pretty much import stuff like if I have my components here, and I'm going to call it a metric here, for instance, metric.jss. So here we go, import React from React, export default function metric. And that guy is going to grab some props, and we're going to see what those props are. But here is hello world, and obviously this is a named function, so I don't need this. So if I go something like this, having this alias here allows me to go inside my page, index, and just import stuff like here I go, and then I have my components, and then here my metric. So it's very, very convenient. Obviously, it can't do it here. I'm going to just like reload this guy. All right. And now I should be able to see it. Yeah, all right. And now it's able to see it because I reloaded. So next config is taken. So I get this tilde, which is like my call to say, hey, look at this and go back to component. So it's like my home thing. So it's like a Linux thing, I guess. Really like this, which means that if you change some component places and stuff, you can just look for this specific relative path and you can change it everywhere. But now I basically have this built in, so I'm gonna just see if we can go and use it. So let's go and try this out. So I'm gonna need a JS config because in this case I am in JavaScript land, and I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna copy paste it, compiler option, there we go. I'm gonna remove all of that next config, delete, yes. And we're gonna see if it works. So here, that guy is now supposed to fail because this doesn't exist. There we go, runtime error. But if I just import components, now it should be good. That's great. And now in the case that we have this guy here, okay, so okay, I'm gonna build the initial data just like if it was a response. So I have my data, then I have all metrics, which is an object which responds some data again, which those data are my... Okay, let's go initial data. We're gonna get there. Const initial data is equal to data, of course. Can't work this way. All metrics. Data, there we go. And I need a second one. Initial data is going to be that initial data. right, unexpected token now. So it's this guy. So in the case we have data, I'm going to look at data dot data. It's not super great. Maybe I need to have like a chaining here to remove some of the things. All metrics data, and then I need to map this with like m is a metric, and I'm gonna spread. It's not super great, but I guess that's fine here. So I'm gonna spread my metrics here, and I'm gonna add a key, which is going to be my m.id, which should be good. And now I can go to my component here and call it I'm gonna do it simple. All right, so here we go. And I'm gonna just JSON stringify that boy. Stringify my props with some spacing. And this should be good. Index, let's go. All right. Nothing with return from. Nothing was returned. Oh, sure. There we go, stupid again. And now you can see all of my metrics here. So I guess I am going to now pimp this up. And we're gonna do some style component. So usually I would be more like I would be a big proponent of CSS modules and things, but it turns out like for bigger project it's easier to return with like no cascading anything. So I'm gonna go here and say a metric article is a styled article, for instance. And that guy is gonna get some okay, 1 rem of padding. It's gonna get a background color of white. Let's go for some border radius. Let's call it 25 rems. And you use it just like this. Here we go. Metric article. Okay, where are you? Background color. Am I already white? I'm pretty sure I'm not. White. Is that white? Okay, so my screen is dead. All right, good to know. It's like a heavy gray thing. But I'm gonna use the built-in CSS of that guy here. So I will actually import like a global CSS as well. So this is like next 9.3, so it's like the previous one. And I'm gonna see if it works this way now. I specified my JS thing, so if I go here and call it style, and I'm gonna call it global CSS. So I would use SCSS, but I don't want to go for NAS and SAS and everything, sorry. So in my case, I'm gonna say that guy has no margin. And the body background color is going to be not white, but it's going to be slightly white. I guess F0 is fine. And let's see if I can go here and say styles, global CSS. Okay, it actually works. Perfect. So that base URL also works for CSS. That's great. So every time you use something, it goes to that thing. So you need obviously to make sure you don't use names of folders that would be in your node modules as well. Which reminds me, don't commit node modules, please, ever. There we go. All right, that's great. So I can now go back to my metric here. I'm gonna give it like a margin bottom of like 0.5 rem. All right, so you can see all of my metrics, and I guess it's going to be on another stream at some point. I'll just make graphs and stuff like this, but it was just like now to test out a few of the building things. So obviously here we can go in and say metric header. This is going to be a styled header. And this is going to have like border bottom, let's say C0, C0, C0. Yes, and let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so if I have my header, I want to get the name. So I'm going to destructure this guy. So I need name, ID, source, duration, start time, if it's there, tags. All right. So I have the name. And that guy, for instance, is going to be H3. Yeah, at some point I'll just like do a flex once. Okay, let's do a flex here. I'm gonna put the names here, and this guy is gonna be how we'd want to call it, right side. It's not really good, but it's gonna be good enough for now. This one is going to be a paragraph, I guess. This guy is going to be a flex 00 automatic. This guy is going to be a display flex. And here I'm going to just say please use everything so we can save. And here goes my call. So I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to be finishing the stream soon because obviously we've been over pretty much all of the features. And this is just presentation. And obviously I'm bad at design. So there's that. And I'm going to say that anything that is an H3 below it is going to be flex 11 auto. All right. And in my right side, I'm going to put the ID here. So here is the right side. Pretty much this is going to be a color. Let's go for something a little bit less intrusive. There we go. So I don't need to display name ID anymore. Okay. I'm gonna call something tags, and this guy is gonna get tags. I'm just gonna join them. It's gonna be easier like this. There we go. No need to map it. And tags is going to be a styled, let's call it a footer. It's not really good, but it's not semantic, but yeah, sure. And the color is going to be slightly not black. All right, so I can remove it here. I have the source, duration, and start time. So the big thing is the duration. Duration is really important. So I'm going to call it duration. Duration. And the rest is just going to be standard. Start time and source. All right, so I can remove that guy here. And here, what I can do is I can actually add a prop to that guy, and I'm gonna say duration is okay, it's gonna be a paragraph as well, and it's gonna get some font size, for instance. It's gonna be 1 rem. So if I save this, you see this, and pretty much I'm gonna also give it a font weight. So it's gonna be like a header or something. But what I want to do is I also want to give him a special color depending on its own duration. So in that case, it's gonna be props, and if prop dot duration is below 10, let's say, display green. If not, I don't have any idea of the numbers, so we're gonna just do for something like this. So everything under 100 milliseconds is pretty much not perceptible. So let's go for 100 here. Anything over 250 is not great, but that's fine. So this guy is going to be yellow. Let's call it orange. And if it is not, then it's going to be red. So 0, 0 is good. That's great. That's great. That's great. This guy is big. Yeah. All right. And now I need to just say if start time, then display start time, and if not, just say nothing. And actually, I'm going to put the space here as well. So I can remove it here. There we go, from WebVital. Yeah, all right. So that's great. I'm gonna git add git commit. Oh, I'm not gonna git commit. No, don't save. I'm gonna remove some of the stuff I really don't want to commit. So it's gonna be in my git ignore. I really don't want to get next. There we go. Git reset. Page style env. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Now I can git add, git commit, change to be committed. Oh shit. Git ignore is not taking that next thing. Wait. How do you reverse added file? Yeah, should be good. Git reset. I'm not stupid. Well, not all of the time. Most of the time, I guess. Git commit, change to be committed. Everything is there. Okay. All right. Untracked.next. All good. So env, git ignore, metric, package, perf. All right, looks good. Stream of the, we are the 16 of May. It's gonna be testing out new features of nextjs 9.4. Exciting. All right. So this is good. I pushed it, so you should be able to go here and find everything I worked on. And I'm gonna put the link in the chat if anyone wants to go and check it. So yeah, all right, that's all for me. I hope to see you next time. Cheers.